In the history of Team Fortress 2, few weapons have experienced a fall from grace quite like the Ambassador. Once the crown jewel of Spy's arsenal, it was feared for its ability to drop players with a precise headshot from halfway across the map. It made a spy feel almost like a cloaked sniper, but these days the Ambassador sits in a strange spot. It's not useless, but it certainly is not what it used to be. Despite its fall from glory, the weapon still has its place. To understand how the Ambassador ended up here, we need to have a look at what made it so strong in the first place and why it got reined in. When it was first introduced, the Ambassador gave something no primary weapon could: reliable ranged burst damage. You could decloak from across the map, line up a headshot, and instantly remove 102 HP from someone's health bar with a single shot. When combined with everything else Spy already has, it was frankly absurd. He can become completely invisible and disguises the enemy team. You're able to play just like Sniper, but without giving away location, negating all of the risks. If you missed, you could just cloak again, reset, and come back later. So Valve stepped in and did the one thing that made sense. They added headshot damage fall off. Now, the further away you are, the less damage your headshots will do. And that change alone forced players to rethink how they would use the Ambassador. No more cheeky long-range kills on medics, no more popping off soldiers halfway across the battlefield. If you wanted that juicy 102, you had to earn it up close. But honestly, that's not a bad thing. Despite the nerf, the Ambassador did not become worthless. In fact, it's still a very capable weapon. It just requires a little bit more finesse than what you would be used to. Up close, a headshot still dishes out the full 102 damage, and this is nothing to scoff at. That damage output puts you on par with classes like Scout, Soldier, and Demo Man with close range damage. Now, of course, you could just use this to go running around as a gun spy, dishing out 102 headshots, while everyone being able to see you. But if you go off and do that, you'll most likely just die quickly. The Ambassador really starts to shine when you start treating it as part of a combo, not just as a standalone weapon. One of the best examples: following up right after a stab. Sometimes you stab an opponent and it's perfect, but right after that, you get spotted. Maybe a pyro or some other combat class sees you and starts to chase you down. And that's your cue to whip out the ambi and headshot them down in 2 clean shots and escape easily. The Ambassador is perfect for when you're caught out in a bad situation. Just hit 1 on your keyboard and click them a couple of times, and with the power of headshots, you can instantly eliminate nearly every class quickly, and it allows you to stand your ground if you're ever caught out in a 1v1 without relying on a trick stab. So what really is the issue with the Ambassador? Well, people seem to believe that ever since it's been nerfed, it has been completely worthless. But how could that be the case? If you ever just look at, say, this example, or perhaps this example here, in both of these situations, the Ambassadors would still, even with the current update, be able to just click them in the head and one-shot them. So what really is the issue? People are often just over-exaggerating how bad the nerf was. The only real difference is at mid-range and long range, where at long ranges, you're doing nothing but tickling them with a feather, and at mid-ranges, you're doing around 30 to 60 damage, depending on how far or close you are. But the thing is, you shouldn't really be using the Ambassador in anything other than close range to defend yourself when you're being chased, or if you just need to shoot someone. Now, the elephant in the room is the Diamondback, which, yes, is easier to use as it rewards Spy's natural gameplay of sapping and stabbing. It also does not have the damage fall off, allowing you to continue to play as Sniper Spy. But the issue of this is that if you cannot sap a building, or if you just haven't gotten stabbed yet, and you get caught out, it's just a straight worse revolver. The Diamondback is worse than the Ambassador in this situation, even with its damage fall off. On top of that, the Ambassador is just cooler. You don't need to rely on the crutch of just hitting anywhere on their body. You can get critical hits on demand by using your own skill to hit people in the head. It's a lot more rewarding, and it's a lot more satisfying too. The Ambassador also helps to make up for Spy's inherent downsides. If you can't get close enough for a backstab, what else is there for you to do? With the Ambassador, you know what you can do? Shoot them in the head, and they will just die. You can reach people that even it's impossible for you to reach with a backstab as well. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way. Spy has a gun, and it's something people tend to forget. Usually, when they see a spy, they expect a free kill. They don't expect the spy to be able to whip out a gun and fight back. And they never expect this gun to do 102 damage out of nowhere. That moment of surprise, that's power, and that's the Ambassador at work. So no, the Ambassador is not what it once was, but it's also not useless. It's a high skill, high reward weapon that can still do some serious damage in the right hands. If you want something easy, sure, pick the Diamondback. But if you're here for the flashy plays, the satisfying clicks, and the thrill of making aim matter, don't count the Ambassador out just yet. Did I get anything wrong? Disagree with my opinions? Think I missed something? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video or found it interesting, consider giving it a like, sharing it, and possibly even subscribing. And thank you for getting to the end.